While primary nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium are widely recognized as essential for plant growth, secondary nutrients such as calcium, magnesium, and sulfur are equally important. Despite their importance, secondary nutrient deficiencies can be difficult to identify and manage.
It might be easy to spot a deficiency driving down the road, and it'd be easy to think that it's one of the macronutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, or potassium. But it's important to get out of the pickup and walk out into the field and take a closer look. We may need to address a secondary nutrient like sulfur, calcium, or magnesium. Sulfur deficiency can look similar to nitrogen deficiency when you're driving down the road. While it is a yellowing of the leaf, sulfur deficiency is going to be noticeable in the newer leaves or the newer, younger developing leaves of the plant. It can be similar to nitrogen deficiency when you're driving down the road visually, but you want to get out and take a closer look. Again, nitrogen was the lower, more mature leaves showing the deficiency. Sulfur is going to be the younger, newer leaves in the top of the plant turning yellow, and you're going to know that that's probably a sulfur deficiency.
Looking at sulfur in the plant is crucial for plant development. It's essential in nitrogen synthesis, and it is an essential amino acid used for protein synthesis.
Sulfur is so important in plant development, we're starting to see it lumped in the importance with macronutrients such as N, P, and K. Sulfur is important in drawing that nitrogen into the plant and utilizing that nitrogen inside the plant. Even in crops like canola, sunflowers, where nitrogen isn't as important as we do in a high nitrogen crop like corn, we still need the sulfur in these other crops to help with that nitrogen utilization in the plant.
Once we've seen the visual symptoms out in the field, we need to be looking at taking those next steps, which would be pulling a tissue sample. After we get those tissue samples back, we're going to be wanting to look and see what we can do to increase that sulfur in the plant.
Sulfur is a mobile nutrient in the soil, similar to nitrate nitrogen. It's important to pull a soil test and know exactly how much sulfur we have to work with in developing a fertility program for a crop. Another secondary nutrient is calcium. Calcium is important in the plant in the membrane and cell development, which equates to better stalk strength. Calcium is important in overall fruit and vegetable quality to help you get the overall best marketability of those types of crops. Calcium deficiency affects growing points of a plant, which can lead to the plant looking stunted or withered. Calcium deficiency can appear as leaf tip burn and can also lead to premature blossom abortion.
Bringing this to my area of the country, something that we've been seeing is we've been adding a lot of calcium lately to increase our stalk strength in these crops. As our yields go up, something we have to be concerned with is the strength of that crop to be able to hold that until we can get to it with the combines or tomato harvesters or whatever harvester we're running out there with to help hold that quality of that crop until we can get to harvest.
Closely related to calcium is another secondary nutrient, magnesium. Calcium and magnesium can both be addressed with soil amendments.
Honestly, magnesium is a hard nutrient to diagnose whenever looking for deficiencies in a crop. One of the things we look for is, again, interveinal chlorosis, which appears very similar as sulfur deficiency whenever we're looking at those crops, but we're looking for that pale yellow with a dark green vein running right down the center of that.
Magnesium deficiencies can be somewhat disguised. In my own region, had a situation where it took a pretty detailed tissue analysis to really uncover that there was a magnesium deficiency, and this just happened to be in a corn crop. We had reached a yield plateau that by addressing that magnesium deficiency, we were able to finally push through.
Once we detect a magnesium deficiency, we want to look at different options of how to address that going forward. One way to do that is with soil amendments, and then the other option is in season through either an irrigation or a foliar feed. For more information on how to address deficiencies with our secondary nutrients that we've discussed today, visit our website at agroliquid.com.